Hey everybody, Tony here again at Trust the Breakup, where I encourage you to trust the breakup. Everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna be all right. I know it's doesn't feel that way, but check it out. It's a process, okay? Get through the process. I know it can be painful. I know it's a sucky process, but it's also a beautiful process. It's an awesome process because on the other side of it, you're gonna have learned so much and you're gonna grow into a better person with better understanding of relationship, all right? So in today's teaching, we're going to talk about the psychology of a breakup and how your brain is sabotaging your recovery. Listen to me. You're not weird, you're not a victim, you're not weak, all right? You're not super emotionally unstable. There are reasons why you're having a hard time. And it deals with human psychology and hormones. So we're going to get into that, okay? Our thought process plays a big part in it. So we're going to get into that today, and you're going to really enjoy this teaching. First of all, let's talk about fear. All right, you are afraid. Something keeping you behind is you are afraid. You're afraid of being alone. That's a big one. Now, we are made to be in community. We are social beings. Now, obviously, there are people who prefer to be hermits, to prefer to be alone, extremely introverted. But for the most part, we are designed to be around people, especially if you've been in a relationship. And I'm guessing if you're on this channel, you have been. And now you are without that person. You're without that person and you're alone. What does that mean? Well, that means holidays by yourself. That means birthdays by yourself. That means taking trips, and that person's no longer there. And now you're alone. Maybe you had a routine where you went to breakfast every Saturday morning or Sunday morning, and now you're not. Now you're going alone or with just someone who's just a friend. And that could be scary, all right? That could be scary, and that's normal. You're just afraid of being alone. Well, let's keep going. You're afraid because you think you lost out on the one. That, oh my gosh, there is no other. Oh no, I blew it. And now you're regretting the breakup or, things you said and things you did that might have caused the breakup and everything like that. Listen, there's no such thing as the one. I'm just going to tell you right now, get that fantasy, get that, fairy tale book out of your mind, what we've seen in movies. We've been conditioned to think that there is the one, but that's largely a Western idea, okay? I'll give you a couple reasons. Okay, think of societies that still have arranged marriages. You think they get the one every time? No. And yet they have long marriages and many are very happy marriages. Children, everything that we want. But it was arranged. Obviously and also the math doesn't work. How can everybody on the planet have married the one? It doesn't work. What if you married someone you got pregnant at 18 and you married her just to be responsible? Did you miss out on the one? No, not necessarily. I've had friends who got pregnant out of wedlock. They married, they made that choice, and they've been together for years and are happy. Also, let me tell you a true story here. I had a coworker, and she got married. Several months into the relationship, she tragically passed. And so now what? Her husband is alone at 30 years old. What, he can't remarry? And if he does, then he's going to have a less than marriage because the one he tragically lost and this new wife is going to be subpar? No, of course not. The husband can remarry and have a very happy life. There are many people we are compatible with. Some more, some less. But they're out there, more than one. And, hopefully we do find at least one, but there's going to be many. So don't be afraid, okay? Listen, don't be afraid that you've missed out on the one. Someone else is going to show up. Another reason why you're afraid and fearful is because you have a scarcity mindset. Maybe you're someone who doesn't date much, or maybe you're someone who, you've been alone for 3, 4, 5 years in between relationships. And now you're thinking, oh no, it's going to be another 3, 4, 5, 6 years before I find another person. That's a scarcity mindset. Stop it. All right? Stop it. Erase that from your mind. You need to transfer to a plentiful mindset. All right? If you've been with someone before, then that means someone found you attractive. There's others out there who are going to. Broaden your horizons. Go out and get rid of that scarcity mindset. That's not you, okay? That's not you. Now, we're going to go on more into the psychology of why you're still a victim to your breakup and how hormones play a part in that. But before we do that, I want to provide you with some helpful resources. I love educating people. One book here on the left is How to Get Over Anyone in a Few Days. It's a great book. It gives you a lot of different scenarios that all of us have gone through, and it's very helpful. And then you have The Mood Elevator, all right, by Larry Sen. Really good book. Helps you understand your mood, your emotions, and what's going on there. I recommend both of them highly. I've read them both. I'll put them in the link below. Click the description below, and you're going to see a link to the books. Uh, Check them out, read them. I think they're going to be very helpful to you. Let's continue on. Let's look at psychology and hormones. All right, first of all, stop the Facebook and Instagram stalking. Why? You see an image and your mind can't tell the difference between reality and just a thought. Okay? You look and you see your ex on Instagram, on Facebook, and they have this smile on their face and they're hanging out with friends, and your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and just the thought. So you're going to start getting these ideas, and they're going to appear very real to you. You're going to be getting these ideas about the situation, what's going on in that photo, and it's going to be very real to you. Let me give you an example. We've all seen horror movies, and we know that it's just a movie. But what happens? What does your brain do? It increases your heart rate. It increases your blood pressure. You start sweating, right? You get nervous. You tense up. But it's just a movie. Okay? The same thing is going to happen when you Facebook and Instagram stalk. You're going to see uh, your ex with some dude who you don't know, and you're going to think it's a new boyfriend. Girls, you're going to see him with a girl and think it's a girlfriend, or he's hooking up, or whatever it is. But that may not necessarily be the case. But your mind's not going to be able to differentiate that. Now, on that same thread, the brain wants to make conclusions. This is what's going on. Our brain does not like it when there isn't completion or conclusion. So what are you going to do? You see her with some guy you don't know, and let's say in reality it's a cousin, but your mind is going to conclude that it's some new dude she's seen. All right? Our mind's going to make conclusions, and you know what? That is going to just mess you up. You guys need to stop the Facebook and Instagram stalking, or at least, let's start with baby steps. At least do it less, okay? Our brain wants to complete things. Let me do something real quickly. If I go like this, da 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 da, yeah, your brain wants to go da da, right? It wants to complete it. Same thing with photos you see on social media. All right? You keep stalking on Instagram and Facebook, and it will keep you hurting, unstable, worried, depressed, and freaking out. You don't want that. You don't want that. You want to start recovering, okay? So chill out on the social media stalking, all right? Chill out on that. Okay, let's keep going. Psychology and hormones. This is what's happening. Your brain is telling you that you need your ex for survival. But you're not some psycho or anything, okay? It's chemicals and hormones are being released and playing tricks on you, okay? You're not a victim. chemicals and hormones are being released, and they're playing tricks on you. That's what's going on. It's very freeing when you can understand, hey, there's a psychology going on here. There are chemicals going on here that are making me feel this way, okay? It's not that that person is super special. It's not that you cannot live without that person. And I'm going to explain why. Let's continue. Dopamine, everyone. Dopamine, it's the feel good hormone. It's the pleasure hormone. It's the hormone that tells you when you take an action, you get a reward. For example, you approach that girl, you get her number, and you feel good. Dopamine is released. You took action and the reward was a phone number or anything else. You go on an interview, you end up getting the job, dopamine is released. Okay? It's a feel good hormone. And when you're in a relationship, that happens. Dopamine is being released when you're in a good relationship with somebody. What else happens? Oxytocin. They call it the love drug. It is released when people bond physically or socially. When you've been dating somebody and you've been together physically and you've been in social settings, you've gone out, you've had good times together, oxytocin was being released. And when you cut dopamine out and when you cut oxytocin out, your brain is thinking, making you think that you need that person for survival. You get it? You get it? That's what's going on. Let's continue. Cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. You look at those Facebook photos, those Instagram photos, you start freaking out, you start stressing, okay? It's been a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and she hasn't texted you, or girls, he hasn't called you, you're stressing out. What happens? Cortisol is released. It's the stress hormone. That's going to cause depression, okay? An excess release of cortisol, I should say, starts to cause over time, causes depression, you get anxiety, fatigue, and check this out, loss of emotional control. That's why you think, there's no one else in the world for you. That's why you think you can't live without that person. That's why some of you are even, I'm going to say it, suicidal. I know sometimes we think I'd rather not feel anything at all than to feel what I feel right now. Stop it. Don't think that way, okay? You're going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. Trust the breakup. Go through the process. Understand dopamine, oxytocin, cortisol, okay? You're going to be all right. Now, let's get some solutions. All right? I don't want to just give you information and not leave you with solutions. Understand behavioral psychology and hormones. I gave you a brief overview, but now take this and start researching it yourself. Google behavioral psychology in relationships, behavioral psychology after a breakup, and learn, everyone. Okay, learn. Also, speak to someone who can put your situation into perspective. Someone you trust, a pastor, a mom, your dad, older brother, sister, a good friend, someone who's going to help you put it into perspective, okay? Lots of times the best person to talk to is someone who has gone through a bad breakup, who's gone through a divorce and is now on the other side of that, okay? Talk to somebody who has been through it. Next, talk to yourself, reminding you of what really is happening. Think back to this video. Okay, think back to this video. I have other videos. I have one on perspective. I'll put the end screen at the finish of this one. Click on it. Perspective is everything. Talk to yourself and think, okay, this is cortisol. This is a lack of dopamine. Okay, my mind is trying to make conclusions that aren't really true. Things like that. Remind yourself of what's happening, and then, hey, everyone, give it time. Okay, give it time. If you're in a 2, 3, 4, 5 year relationship, or even if it was just 6 months, give it time. Things are going on. All right, listen, you're going to be okay. Go through the process. You're going to be all right. If you enjoyed this, if this was helpful, like the video, share it. Share it with someone who's hurting. Share it with somebody who is having a hard time recovering from their breakup. All right, subscribe, and I really hope this was helpful. Check out those books in the link below, and you're going to be okay. This is Tony with Trust the Breakup. God bless you, and I'll see you again soon.